Today, we want to talk about some of the different variable operations. So we've talked about the variables. Oh, geez, I'm gonna struggle to pronounce that name. Leuniato. Thank you for that follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you had a wonderful week. But yeah, so we went over the basic variables. We went over the advanced variables. We touched on lists a little bit. Basic variables, we had a vector 3, which a vector 3 is an XYZ coordinate, whether that's used for a location or a rotation. Depends on how you use it. But it is a collection of 3 values, an X, Y, and a Z. We have a break vector 3 node. This break vector 3 node will let you break that vector into the individual numbers for X, Y, and Z. So sometimes you don't need them as a vector, you need an individual value. So you can use the break vector to get your X, Y, and Z. And then if we do something like a right to log node, here we can demonstrate, which is going to segue us very nicely into one of these other nodes, which is the number to string node. We're going to take the X number, convert it to a string, and write to log. We take the Y number, convert it to string, write to log. Take the Z number, write to string, or number to string, and then write to log as well. Now this is not going to write all 3 numbers. Unfortunately, this is actually going to be a good example to build into our some of these other variables. So if we look at this write to log, we'll just write down here in the logs. I like to set all of my logs to warning because a lot of the regular logs just get flooded. Right, dropped those logs in there. All the UI stuff over there drops logs in there. So I like to set my logs to warning just so I can filter out all that stuff that we don't have control of. Let's just do on start node here to trigger this. We'll see. We got 1 node. We got 0.00, but we didn't get all 3. That just comes down to the nature of events, right? We have 3 different numbers, but we're only calling write log once. So it's only going to call it with one of these numbers. Which one, really, we would never know in this scenario, which one's being logged out. It's going to be purely based on the order the engine runs, splitting these, and which value was pushed into the right node by the time the event triggered the right node. I have noticed that a lot of times it's different on different runs. You'll see things run one way one time you run it, and another way the other time you run it. It's usually related to that. But yeah. So this wouldn't be the best way to try to log out our values. However, what we can do here instead is we have a concatenate string node. Right, a concatenate string node will just combine strings together. So it'll take a string A and a string B and output those 2 strings together as 1 string. And then we can also chain the concatenate nodes, right? So the output of that, and then I can add C or Z of X, Y, Z. I can put the output of X and Y combined into A, and then add Z to B, trigger this, and then put that combination into the right to log node. Then you'll see we've logged things out. It's not formatted very well, but there is 3 sets of numbers with 2 decimal places each in the log there. And then if you want to take this even further, just organize this up a little bit. If you want to take this up a little bit further, we can do something like vector x. We'll take our x value here. Let's disconnect all of these because we're going to change this part around. Feed this into the A here, which will do something like Y. I put a space after the X, yeah, okay. We'll do a Y. Let's disconnect this. We'll feed Y into this one. And then we'll do Z. I'll feed Z into this guy. And then we'll do one more. Just kind of close out the format, feed that into the log. And hopefully what we should get is a nice pretty printed vector. Probably we want a space before the Z, because we have one before the Y, and I think it looks nicer. So we'll go ahead and do that. Hit play one more time. I didn't save my space for some reason. Sometimes does that if you click out of things. It's also probably excited in the wrong spot. That one shouldn't have a value. Okay. So yeah, now we have a nice, pretty printed vector to string. We're going to just organize this a little bit better. Bring all this stuff together, scrunched up like so. Do like this. Just bring this right node guy right up in here. Just keep it nice and clean. We can see that the nodes connect here, goes all the way down the line here, and then outputs to the right log node. You definitely don't have to organize your nodes the way I organize them. It's really all up to preference. Yeah, that gives us a nice little convert a vector to a string and print it out node, and we're actually going to set that aside because in a future tutorial we're going to talk about how to convert that into a macro that can be used pretty easily. But that one logic covers our break vector 3 node, our number to string node, and our concatenate string node. So let's see what else leaves us. Break transform. So break transform is very similar to the break vector, except for it breaks a transform. So we talked about transforms last time as well, or previously as well. A transform is a collection of location, rotation, and scale. So if we break a transform, we get the location vector, the rotation vector, and the scale number, which we could then take this transform, feed this location into our logic here for logging the vector, and we could log out the location, we could log out the rotation, and then we could log out the scale. So I think when we get into doing macros, we may do just this example. We will convert this to a macro so we can use it multiple times to trigger all the location, rotation, scale, and then we'll make a we'll do a convert vector to string and a convert transform to string macros.
If you enjoy this content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one.